In this video, we will be looking at how we build the basic components needed to make the different kinds of bots in our pack. Those are the Doodle Bot, the Draw Bot, and the Junk Bot. Now, once you've ordered your components from Rapid, they're going to arrive for you pre-bagged just like this. We'll have a quick look at what the different parts are, how we join them together, and then we'll look at the different ways that we build the bots. Now, the one thing to note is the only thing you won't get in your pack is batteries. Now, the bots require, for their battery packs, 2 AA batteries. And the cheapest place to buy this is shops like Home Bargains and B&M. So you don't get your 2 batteries with the pack, but everything else arrives. So let's have a look at the components that we get. So we have these battery packs. You can see we've got our positive and negative wire. We've got our on-off switch here for turning them on and off. And it's just a simple click case and slide for putting the batteries in. That's the first component, our battery pack. We have our counterweight, our plastic counterweight. That's what these are. If I take one out, I'll show you. So you can see these plastic counterweights have a hole on the side. Now the hole on the side is where you put the counterweight into the motor. And what that means is when it spins, instead of spinning on the center and spinning in place, it spins to the side. It'll make more sense when I show you the motor. And that movement, that offset turning, causes the vibration. Now children will be interested to know that this is exactly the type of mechanism that's used to make a mobile phone vibrate. And you can see videos and links to that in the support document. So we have our counterweight, our plastic counterweight. And the last piece of kit that we get is our motors. So these are our motors that we're going to be using. They're 3-volt true motion motors. They come bagged up for us. So here we have got our motors. We can see that this bit here, this is the bit that spins, that turns, and here's our different connectors for joining up the battery pack. So I'll show you what we meant with the offset motor. You can see if I put the motor on the center, that's going to spin. It wouldn't cause any movement. All that would happen would be that this would just spin faster and faster. You might feel a gentle kind of thrumming on the motor, but it's not going to be vibrating. But if we put it on the offset hole, like this, when this spins, because it's offset, every time it makes a rotation, it's going to be pulling the motor and causing it to vibrate. And that's how we get the movement in our bots. As this vibrates, it causes the bots to wiggle and move. So those are the 3 basic components that you need to make your bot. The battery pack with switch, the motor, and the offset counterweight. And obviously we know we need our batteries, but they don't come in the pack. So let's see how we set up this really simple circuit. Now it's a simple circuit because there's only one component in the circuit. So we slide the battery pack open, having a look at the diagram to see which way the batteries go. And we just follow that. And then we close it up again. So nice and simple. Now, for our wires, you can see that at the end of the wires, we've got just a little bit of bare metal. Now, it's the bare metal that we're going to be threading into the legs of our motor. Now, this is a little bit finicky, but you know, it's really good fine motor control practice for children. It's that idea of threading and sewing that they might have an early level. That's it, that applies exactly here. If that's too difficult, you can get crocodile clips to put on the ends of these, but we're just going to simply look at threading through. So what we'll do first is we'll just thread through the metal to the back. We'll try and get that in focus for you. Maybe we can see, thread that through. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend it so it stays in place with my finger. Just make a wee hook. There we go, and tuck it round. So you can see I've sort of hooked that on. And then I'm going to do the same with the other side. It'll be easier actually if I lay that down. So I'm going to thread it through. I'm going to make a wee hook with a wire, pull it back, and then close it. There we go. So now I've got my simple circuit. You can see it's simple circuit because there's one component. And when I turn on my battery, what should happen is the motor should spin. Oh, there we go. We could hear it spinning. It actually spun so fast that my wire unhooks. So we'll put that back on again and we'll look to make it a bit firmer. There we go. So that's actually a great little teaching point there. If we don't hook them on properly, they're just going to unhoop. So all I've done, if you can see, is I've just hooped those over and pushed them back on themselves. So they've made like a hook shape like this, like my finger, and then curled it round so it's gripping the motor. And then when I turn the motor on, it's spinning. Perfect. So there's my simple circuit. The last thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to add on the offset counterweight. I'm going to put it on the side. In fact, what I'll do first is I'll put it on the middle and show you how this won't vibrate. So when I put this in the middle, all that will happen is it'll just spin faster. Oh. There we go. So it's just spinning, that's all that's happening. There's next to no vibration in my fingers. But if I put this on the offset, and I put it on now, it's really vibrating pretty hard in my fingers. It's actually quite hard to hold on to. So that is your simple circuit for your bots, for your Doodle Bot, your Draw Bot, and your Junk Bot. That's the basic circuit children will need to do. And the thing to remember, the only tricky bit, is how we attach these wires to the legs of the motor, and it is that idea of taking your wire, curling it round so it's grabbing the leg, and then folding that wire back in on itself so it's holding on nice and tight. And that's basically all you need to do. That's it. So there we go. The next thing we're going to look at then is how we go about attaching these to the different bots so we can make our Draw Bot, our Doodle Bot, and our Junk Bot.